Okay guys, in this video we are going to be looking at the wiring diagrams for this secondary air pump emission system. Now these wiring diagrams are from Mitchell on demand. They redraw all the schematics here. If you're familiar with European cars like Volkswagens and Audis, they use what's called track numbers, and you will be all over the place trying to find from one place to the other to to read these diagrams. And I can read them, but it just takes a little bit longer. So I thought it would be a lot easier for you guys to follow, and try keeping up in what we're going to do here. In the process, I'm going to show you some of the things I do as far as in reading diagrams, things that you come across as unfamiliar, industrial control wirings. I'll use these techniques when I'm trying to figure out a circuit here. Now, when you look at this, this here is spread across two sheets, okay? And you see lines everywhere. But, when you wire up some equipment like we do in industrial control wiring, you could have hundreds of wires. And some of the guys would be just overwhelmed, new guys coming in, about looking at all these wires and about where they're going to go when they got to wire up some, say, control panels. Well, it's no different here. You're only going to look at one wire at a time. You can only wire one wire at a time. So that's what we're going to do. Now, what I like to do is I like to start at the load. Well, secondary air pump. Let's start there. Let's see where that's going to take us. All right. So secondary air pump is over on this one. All right. So let's zoom in on that. Now loads are usually down at the bottom. Okay. Usually your hots and positive voltages is going to be at the top, and your grounds will usually be down at the bottom. Well, right here you can see there's our secondary air pump. Let me go in just a little bit further for you. Okay, right there. All right, you can see that that here we go. We got a secondary air pump. All right. You can see our color of a wire. It's got pin 1, got a white wire with a red tracer. It's on pin 2. All right. Now what I like to do is see the obvious stuff first. All right. We can see a ground. Right. Ground is going straight to ground. So I'm gonna highlight that in green. All right. So now we know that's where that wire is at. Now pick your different color. Okay. Now, the reason we're going to do all this and highlighting this is going to be a little bit obvious later on. Now, see, obvious, this is going to have to be the positive over here, 12 volts, because this is the ground. So let's highlight him. I'm just going to use an orange here. Okay. All right. So now we can see right now that it's going to go through this here relay. All right. So we got a normally open contact there. Now over here on the other side we got the coil, but we're not worried about that. Let's just follow this positive wire. Just trace this one for right now. Alright, so I'm going to continue. I'm going to use the same color. Alright, now this wire is going up. Okay, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, 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 it's going on up, it's going up. Now you see how it's crossing over these lines? Well, that's all they're doing is crossing. There is no wire connection. A wire connection, you'll see a dot. If you see a dot, then the wires are physically connected together. Okay, now let me zoom back out just a little bit here so you guys can see kind of where we're at right now. Okay, right there. Alright, so now I'm going to highlight that one. And as you can see, it comes across over here. So I'm going to highlight that one right there. Now take a look over here. Let me zoom down there for you a little bit. Okay, you see we're down here on 9. Now this is just reference numbers for us to cross-reference one wire to another sheet. That's what the 8, 9, 10, and 11 are for. Alright, so 9 is going off to another sheet, which is, you notice how all of these numbers are on the left hand side of the page? Let me slide over here so you can see the other side. You see how we have other reference numbers on this side? They're on the right hand side. Now these reference numbers say on the right hand side, they're going to go to the next sheet. So this will be sheet 3 that these will be going to. These 3 sheets, I'm only showing you 2, but there's 3 sheets in here for the engine performance circuits, okay? So this will be going to sheet 3. If they're over on the left hand side, like what we have, and let me back out again, yeah, there we go. And see these numbers on the left hand side are going to the previous sheet, which will be sheet 1. We are now on sheet 2. So keep up that red, it's a red wire. That's what's going to be out there on the car, and this is just a reference number 9. So now let's slide him out of the way, and now let's bring in sheet 1. So now sheet 1 is going to be coming in on the right hand side of the page. Okay, so now everything is coming over here on this side. So let's find our reference number, which was number 9. Okay, and there it is, right there. And you see how the wire color is red, so we know we're on the right spot. So let's highlight that joker. Okay, so we're going to go across. Okay, go across. We'll go across. We'll go across. We'll go across. Now I'll be back out a little bit so you can see where I'm at. Okay, now we're going to go straight up, straight up, straight up. And what we want to do is we want to keep carrying this wire back to get back to the source of where the 12 volts is coming from. So now let's zoom in there and let's see what it tells us. Okay, whoops, right there. All right, there's a 50 amp fuse. It's labeled as fuse 1, and this fuse is hot at all times. And as you can see, it's a red wire, goes all the way down, all the way down. Remember, then we're going out, and then of course we're going straight to the normally open contact on the other page. So now while we're doing this, thinking about that, you guys think about some troubleshooting methods about how we can turn these things off and on. Okay. So there's one circuit. Now, let's go back. Let's slide him out of the way. Now let's pick up another load. Okay. Now let's go down here. We're already right there with that relay. Now let's see what we got here for as a relay. Now on the relay, this is our load side. Okay, this is carrying all the current for the load being the motor over here for the pump. Now, this here is our control relay. This is a coil. Now, what did I say earlier about any device? It's got to have a plus, it's got to have a minus. Now, we need to trace these out and see which one is the plus and the minus, because just looking at that, we don't have any idea. Okay, so now what you could do is you could start out and you can trace it out. What I like to do is just kind of follow it out, and then I'll try to find my positive, see where it's at, and then I'll mark it out. Okay. Now to save you guys, so what I'm going to do is we're just going to pick out a point, right? So let's pick out, and a lot of times you might look at the wire, you know, get maybe some idea, but that's not a guarantee on that. So let's just pick one of them. Doesn't matter. All right. So let's pick the one on the left. Let's go for him. All right. So we're going to start. We're going to go up. Now notice I'm using a different color. All right, because we're on a different circuit. Now this is going to be either the plus or it's going to be the minus, but we don't know yet. That's what we're going to find out. Okay. Now let's back out a little bit for you guys. All right, I'm going to hold it right there. So hopefully you guys will be able to see that. Okay, now I'm going to draw my line here, highlight it. Okay, now if we look right down here, we're coming to a cross-reference number over here. That number is 14. And of course we know it's a gray, looks like a gray wire with a brown tracer. Alright, so now that means we're going back to the previous print. So now let's slide him out. Remember 14, gray with a brown. Slide him out. We come back down, coming in on the right hand side, and there's our 14 gray with a brown. Let's follow him out, follow him out, follow him out. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And look where he goes. He goes to the computer. Now, is this a positive side switch or is it a ground side switch? At this point, we do not know. All right, but let's go ahead and highlight them. Okay, so let's go over here, find our 14, and we're going to go straight right in across to the ECM. Okay, so now we have that one. Okay, doesn't look pretty. Did look pretty. I was looking through the camera here, the LCD screen. All right, so there you go, all the way across. Okay, now let's go back to the other sheet. Now let's see where we can find our other side here. Okay, right here. Okay, pick you a different color. All right, now I've got a purple. All right, let's go up. Get up here so you guys can see it. I'm going to draw it up, draw it up, draw it over. Okay, let's see what our cross reference is. Okay, he's 19, blue with a yellow. Slide him out. Let's bring the other one in. Now let's look at 19, 19, 19, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now look at here. You notice right here we got 19 comes across. Now you see the dot? Remember I told you the dot means these wires are electrically connected. So it's going up, going back over, going up, coming down, going out. Now it's coming back to the other page again. Now let's follow across over here. It's also feeding other stuff. It's coming down to here, feeding the pump, leak detection pump. It's coming over, feeding the looks like a purge, yeah, purge solenoid. Coming across, coming over, feeding the intake air sensor. So you can see that this feeding quite a bit of things here. So here's my guess. I'm thinking this is the supply volts, positive. But let's narrow it down. Remember I said we want to get back to the source. We want to find out where is that plus volts originating from. So at this point, let's just pick a point here. So we were coming in on 19, if I remember. Let's go back over here. Yep, we were coming in on 19. Okay, so here's our 19, right? So let me go ahead and draw that. Okay, now let's just pick a point. We got 18. Now we see right here the voltage is not originating from over here. This is actually feeding all of these devices. So let's go down, let's see. See, there's another device is feeding. So we got two places to go. We can go up to this point here is 18, or we can come down to 22. Well, let's try 18. Let's see where that goes. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight it. So there's 18. Okay. Now let's go back to our next sheet. Let's bring him back in. Now let's find out 18. There he is right there. So let's take and put 18. Let's highlight him. Okay. Let me get him up a little bit so you can see. Okay. Now let's follow the wire. Let's just follow it out, kind of see where it goes. Goes up, goes up, goes up. Okay. Goes up, goes up, goes up, goes up. Ah, that looks good. Look, we're going through a fuse. What you're normally going to see is you're going to see fuses always in the hot side. I ain't going to say always, but I'll say every 99%, let's say. Every time I've seen the positive, you see the fuse, you know you're on the hot side. So when that comes down. Now it branches out and feeds other fuses, okay? Have we got back to the source? No, not yet. Now that's feeding the fuel pump. Nope, okay, look, now it goes back out. Now it's coming out on 2. All right, so let's go ahead and highlight that wire. So I'm going to come on down, starting back where I was at. I'm going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Okay, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. So we already can see that this here fuse, the relay coil is going through this fuse here, okay? 10 amp fuse, fuse 40, 43 it looks like. Now we're coming on down. Now you can see it's branching out. Nope, that's a load. We don't want to go there, remember? We want to get back to our source. Where's this thing coming from? Nope, don't want to go there. So let's go down this way. So we're going to come down to right here. We're going to go out. Now we're going out on 2. Looks like a blue wire. Let's slide him out of the way. Let's bring the other one in. Let's find out 2. Okay, 2 is right here. Okay, so now 2 comes in. 2 comes in. All right. Ah, look at there. It goes through the fuel pump relay. So now we know the fuel pump relay has to be closed before this here relay coil for the air pump is going to work. So let's go on down through here. Let's go down through here. Let's go across over here. Look at here. Ah, look at there. We have finally got back to our source. So now we're done with this circuit. So now we got a fuse there. It's a 2 amp fuse rated at 50 amps also. It's a fuse 2, 50 amps, and it's also hot at all times. Okay, so that part is done. All right, let's see what else we got here. So we know, see now by looking at these different colors here, see you can take, this is the reason I told you about highlighting and stuff. If I want to follow this right here, right, look, orange, 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 orange. Now I don't have to sit here and go and crossing and make a mistake to figuring out. I could come over here and pick on the wrong wire. Look, I just follow it right there. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. Now for the other over here. If I look down here, looking at this purple wire, see I see the purple. First we know the blue wire. We know that one right now. That is the DC negative. And we already know that because, and the DC negative is controlled by the ECM, so it's ground side switch. Over here, we got the purple wire. We know that is the positive wire. Goes out, comes in, goes back out, goes over, then it comes back in again, right? So it goes here, goes up, goes through the fuse, comes down, goes across, goes back to the other diagram, comes in, goes through the fuel pump relay contact, comes over, straight to the fuse. Now again, as you're doing this, think about ways about how to diagnose this thing, because now you're going to start developing your strategies about how you're going to check these components out, okay? Now what we're going to do, since we have the coolant hoses off of this thing, you know, starting the engine is not going to be a thing here to do this, where to bring this fuel pump relay in, all right? So keep in mind, fuel pump relay is only going to come on for about 1, maybe 2 seconds when you turn the ignition switch on. After that, this thing is open. All right. All right, let's see what else we got here. See if there's anything else that we need to be concerned with. Okay, let's take a look at this one right here now. So we got these 2 wires. Oh, look at here, 22. Do you remember 22 on the previous page? Wasn't they connected up with this one up here? Well, let's take a look. Let's throw the other one out. So got 22. Let's slide down. Ah, look at there. 22. Now you see how it's interconnected with the dot? So we don't want to change our color here. Let's use the same one. That'll be a purple. All right, so that tells us now, by seeing this purple, we'll know that all this here is on the same circuit with our control relay for the air pump. Okay, so we got 22, and look, it goes out on 18. All right, let's see what else we got here. So it goes back on 18. Here's the other one. So, yeah, there we go. We're done. So that circuit is already completed for us because we done it earlier. All right. You follow that? So you see how we got the positive here? It's connected over here to the other one. Let's see if I can get both of those in there for you guys so you can see that. Okay. See how they're interconnected? Okay. So we've already done that in the previous step. So that one's done. So we already know that's the positive side. So let me go ahead and mark that. So we know this will be for we'll just put a plus right there. So what do we know about that one? We automatically know that's going to be the negative side. Now, let's go ahead and make sure we do this for the other one too. So we know that this one right here is going to be the plus. We know this here blue wire right there, or the one that I put in magic marker there, is going to be the minus. Now let's go ahead and follow this wire out. My guess is it's going to be taking us right back to the PCM so it can control that. So since we got a different circuit be on a different point there, let's get us another color here. Okay, so let's follow him out. I'm going to use a yellow for this one. Okay, we're going to go up, we're going to go up, we're going to go up, 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 and let's see, he wants to go right across, right across. Okay, now he wants to go out. Okay, what's our reference? 15, brown with a yellow tracer. Okay, let's bring our other one in here. 15, 15, there he is. 15, brown with a yellow tracer. Let me just throw him out of the way, and let's follow across, see where he goes. He goes across, he goes across, he goes across, he goes up. Look at there. Right straight into the PCM. Okay, that's great. So, let me go ahead, I'll mark him out. So now we're going to mark him, we're going to mark him with a yellow, goes up, and then straight right in to the ECM. Okay, so now we know that's the negative. So both of these here devices are the relay is being controlled by the computer, and this is a ground side switch, and we also know that the injection solenoid for the air injection solenoid is also controlled by the computer, which is ground side switch. So what you guys need to do now is, seeing all of this, is you need to come up with some methods of troubleshooting, okay, of how we can diagnose this thing. Okay, now let me put these together for you a little bit. Now when you get ready to troubleshoot your own vehicle, and it doesn't have to be with this here particular problem, but take and highlight it, okay? Highlight your circuits up. Now, you don't have to, it gets a little bit confusing when you got a lot of wires. You want to focus those other wires out and focus on the ones that you need to get onto. And you can do that by highlighting these here wires so you can see them right off of a bat. See, like this orange, like for example, boom, 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 and I can follow it and you go right out, right? Same for these others. You see exactly what turns these things on, what's in that circuit. Then everything else you can just forget about. Okay guys, when you got to admit that highlighting these here wires definitely make things a lot faster when you're tracing wires out and troubleshooting. But here's another tip, that when you come across a circuit, it looks pretty complicated and you got all these wires, you can always go back to making things even simpler. So take all this right here that you see, and we can take this and convert it, okay, into this. You can only then see, you can focus on what you need. So what I did here is I redrew this up in AutoCAD Electrical. Since I do wiring diagrams at work anyway, you can see right there. Now we got everything right there on one sheet. We see everything that we need. Okay, so this makes things a lot simpler. And I just did this in draw it up so you can see it, make it look a little bit neater so it'll show up on the camera. But you don't have to do it in no CAD or anything like that. Just draw it up by hand. You know, scribble out something. If you come across some diagram and it looks a little confusing, take what you know, draw it out on a piece of paper, and this way it'll make things a lot easier for you when you want to start troubleshooting any kind of circuit out there. Okay, I appreciate you guys watching. We're going to wrap this up, and next video we're going to be out there on the car. We're going to do some diagnosis, and so all of the schoolwork, I should say, is over here at this point. So I want to appreciate you guys taking the time looking at the videos, and we'll catch you in the next one. All right, we appreciate it.